playing and making plays and doing things right. And so I learned a long time ago from a mentor that it really is the leadership of your team that makes the difference, and these guys have made a difference. And I think Coach Glenn, I know Coach Glenn is doing things right. I think their guys play very hard. It was fun to get the victory, but I expect a much tougher team, a much tougher game as the years go on. So fun to renew it, and fun to get the win.
Questions for Coach?
Talk about the start to the ball game. I mean, you drive down, punch in the opening position for a score, get the turnover. Talk about the start and the impact it had.
It's just huge, and sometimes I think that affects you in a negative way because you have a chance to maybe relax, because I think we kind of did that in some phases of the game. But to me, that drive was a one-play drive, and that was Tyrell Coole's catch, the long catch at the start of that thing to keep the drive going, put us in positive territory, and that's football. That's football. You make one play, it has an effect on the whole game, and so Chris Tracy had a huge play in that for the fumble recovery for a touchdown. We came out of the locker room ready to play, and that was good. Disappointed in the penalties, both in the first half and the second half, but we overcame it.
Coach, this is a little bit of a coaching challenge this week because you want to focus on, you got a lot going on with the playoffs and your bid for the playoffs and finishing strong, and yet you've got all this rivalry stuff, and you kind of choose which way you want to motivate your guys on something like this?
It was crystal clear for us. Number one, we say 1-0 every week, and so that theme never changes. You guys are the ones that talked about the rivalry, right? Our guys had never played against these guys. Our guys were pups when this thing stopped, and so in 4 years, that will be much different in our programs, and that's how we approach it. Now, I'm not saying every program approached it that way, but that's how we approached it, and that was right for us. You know, the North Dakota State deal last week, the disappointing loss, that was probably the toughest thing, is to get over that and get focused on this game.
After that North Dakota State loss, did you guys kind of regroup, come out, say, okay, we've got something to prove, last game of the season, playoff spot on the line? Did you go in with a little bit of a chip on your shoulder going into this week's preparation against USD?
I think that when we started the week that we were a little nervous, to be honest with you. We were a little uptight, and sometimes that happens from how coaches coach you and what they demand of you. Sometimes it just happens because of the pressure. But, man, we get to play a game, right? And we get to line up and do the things we love. We get to coach. And our guys relaxed, and I think it was evident in how we came out of the locker room. Big crowd, big rivalry, all that stuff, and we played our best quarter maybe that first quarter. So I think it trickled into the right mindset later on in the week.
Coach, once you got on the field, did it become sort of not just another home game, but was there a sense of comfort in that, okay, you're on your field, you know what this is supposed to feel like no matter who's on the other side? Yeah,
and I think that's always the case. Again, the rivalry question, the big crowd, the playoff stuff. But when the ball snapped, man, that joke's over. You know, you got to block and tackle and catch and strip and so on. And I think at halftime, possibly our guys went in and started daydreaming of what maybe could happen, but there are no guarantees. And we didn't play as well in the second half. But when we came on the field, Terry, there was an intensity that I love to see in our football team.